Life.
Blessed love and greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Justice and Healing, Justice and Healing Calabash TV program. It is December 19th, 2022. My goodness, can you believe that? We are at the end of 2022 and we are live in studio here in Castro, St. Lucia with our honorable family, the St. Lucian people. Of course, our guests who are joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and wheresoever. We welcome you and we want to say blessed love to all. I am the host of this program, Ras Dr. Wayne Rose, and I am also the Secretary General of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. This evening, we have a tremendous program because what it represents, the program this evening represents a capping of 12 months of the initiative that was started from a very thought, an idea, as a group of us converged at the Mount Kalish Rejuvenation Center in Mark Bexon, St. Lucia, and we decided that it was an appropriate thing to present to ourselves, to the St. Lucian people, and a justice and healing initiative for the St. Lucian family. And one of the guests I have this evening to do a recap of the past 12 months of sons, a young prince, a prophet, Brother Edison. And I want to welcome him to the studios here at Calabash TV, a young man, a bright young St. Lucian who has had done a lot of work as a young man. He's an entrepreneur. He's a public relations guru in St. Of course, he was a participant and a contributor to the Justice and Healing initiative here in St. Lucia. So we're going to do a cap, a recapping of all the things that we have done, and to remind the family that the words that we speak, we can activate into life, into flesh, into positive actions for our community. Yes, but before we go even further, I just want to ask, how you doing, my son?
Give thanks, Honorable. Out of love, and I'm well, I'm blessed. I'm just grateful to be here, FDI, an honorable elder, a doctor, a teacher, and a father in some senses.
Yes.
And so give thanks right through, and just appreciative for everybody working towards it tonight, and even our audience for who are here for what we're about to discuss. So I'm grateful, and for the body of work that's been done in St. Lucia, I feel honored that we were really the ethos, one of the focuses of Jaja and I think it's fit for us, given our position geographically, given our position in many other senses. So I'm just grateful to be at the I Heart of Love.
Yes, and of course, we will not have this program without our honorable chairman, woman, person, empress, goddess, and she'll be joining us very soon. That's the Right Honorable Empress Ethiopia Archer, who is the chair of the Ubuntu Movement St. Lucia. Of course, I am the Secretary General of the Rastafari Cultural Center, but she sits in the premier position of having oversight over a lot of this work, and she's been doing it prior to this initiative, and many St. Lucians have benefited from her work, her generosity, and certainly her leadership. So we're looking forward to welcoming the Empress very soon. But again, family, as I say, 1 year ago, December 19th, 2021, we established the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, and we frame this recap in picture form so that the family can sit forward full joy as we have a discussion about what the images represents, what has been achieved, and then we will share, Prophet Edison, the vision for 2023. Because if people believe that the words we spoke were either proof that we delivered, and then the things we propose for next year will blow the minds of many. And we will achieve them, because as Emperor Haile Selassie I, our divine leader, says, we shall win, because we're confident in what we're doing. Because what we do is goodness, and it will always conquer evil, iniquity, and injustice. So sit forward as I present to you a screening, some of the pictures, and we have some discussions on it. All right, so far right, we frame this first image as we see the first image of our Jajana initiative. It really, really, really means a lot to us as we come forward, you know. And in fact, we see the very first image of the family, the host family, the Right Honorable Priest Kailash, the Right Honorable Empress Ethiopia, and of course we have the young prince, Jaja, appropriately named so, born August 13, 2021. And he's right there in the framing because he himself has been part of the delivery of this great justice and healing initiative. Before we go any further though, I want to take a small studio break as we're having a little bit of technical difficulties and return. Mr. Producer, give us that break now, please. Give thanks.
We are Paula and Horace Popo of Tea Garden 758. We're based in the Evergreen, northeastern part of St. Lucia, Barwano. And we've been in business from November of 2020.
And since then, we have been, we started with 3 herbal tea blends: Lullaby, Morning Spice, and Sweet and Sorrel. Since then, we've been gathering feedback and expanding on our offerings of herbal tea blends, and currently offer a total of 10 herbal tea blends in addition to an assorted blends tea box. Tea Garden 758 is an environmentally sustainable herbal tea company, and we engage in sustainable agricultural practices, and we utilize alternative energy wherever possible. Part of the inspiration for Tea Garden 758 is that we want more people to engage in drinking herbal teas because we believe it's part of a healthy lifestyle. And it's great to just have tea in a very convenient sachet that you can make and share with your family members, help to boost your immunity.
Also, we can be found on Instagram and Facebook at Tea Garden 758, or we can be contacted on WhatsApp at 758-461-5474.
This is the year to be counting solutions reminded. We must not participate.
Non, moi c'est ma frère Emmanuel et aujourd'hui moi qui encourager dernier monde c'est précis participer et supporter population housing census là ou plus en bas qui bien important comme nous sont en nous toutes participer. Laissez enumerators là c'est moun qui ka venir avec ti papier yo pour yo sa prend information ka venir avec mando question ou pe quoi yo pas supposé mando. Moi ka faut ça bien important. Question yo ka mando là c'est pas pour connaître affaire mais yo ka mando ces questions ça pour aider pays simplicité développer en dedans bonne façon pas juste simplicité tout seul mais communauté koto ka wete ya. On nous mettre tête ensemble. On nous mettre cervelle nous ensemble et on nous répond toutes les questions et bien quand il bon smile les filles nous on nous fait ça nous paye bay pawes la, bay community ek bay country ya, bay Simplicity.
Nunca aconteceu assim, aconteceu assim.
Yes, welcome again to the Justice and Healing Recap, 2022 Recap. 12 full months of activities that brought justice, a narrative, and actions of restoring ourselves to our own ideas of being and the reality of who we are. And of course, healing. I myself am the living testimony of what that represents. Own healing. And of course, the polar balance of justice is judgment. And so this program recaps all that we've achieved. But none of it could have been possible without an established facility and facilitators for such programs. And boy, am I happy to welcome in studio the chairman, chairwoman, chair empress of the Ubuntu Movement St. Lucia, the Right Honorable Empress Ethiopia Archer. Honorable Goddess, welcome the man. Welcome. Oh, such a humble spirit and such mild energy. All fire, brimstone and judgment and love. Pure love. Give thanks. You know, and just have you say something to our listening audience as chairwoman, chair empress of, or throne empress rather, of the Ubuntu Movement St. Lucia. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Give thanks, Honorable Raswin. Give thanks for having me here. Give thanks for all those who are listening, all those who are watching. Give thanks for sharing in this moment as we celebrate the first year anniversary of the opening of the doors of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. We're happy to have been able to provide such a service to St. Lucia, provide such a sacred, safe space for those who yearn and thirst after more knowledge of their own selves. So give thanks for all those who have entered through our doors. Give thanks for all those who have purchased our books. Give thanks for all those who have attended our various events. For me especially, it was the Poetry Slam and also the Royal Readers Book Club.
Yes,
I mean, these things, they've been beautiful. They have, sometimes we ourselves, we don't realize the impact that it's had. And a sister shared that with me on Sunday, yesterday, at an event. She actually said she is grateful for the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center because when we opened our doors a year ago, it provided St. Lucians with something that they didn't know they were thirsting for, but it's only when they had it that they realized how thirsty and dry their throats were. So, it's an honor to be able to inspire and motivate and help to draw out the greatness and brilliance out of our people. So I give thanks for that. And Raswin, give thanks for having you on board.
Give thanks,
give thanks for just standing so strong, firm and solid, and you come in like a bulletproof vest at times.
Oh, give,
so
thanks
give thanks
for the
Majesty.
love and give thanks for the honor, Honorable Empress Ethiopia, chair or throne empress of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, the Ubuntu Movement St. Lucia. Honorable Goddess, what you just made mention is a critical point because a lot of people knew that I was away from St. Lucia. Eventually they found out. And today is the first I returned to the Cultural Center as a physical presence. We've been doing some administrative work outside of St. Lucia. And just the bombardment of the love energy and people saying so much, what happened, and we missed the poetry competition, and we missed the readers club, and we missed just seeing and having that energy. And, it's one of the things that when we talk about adding value to a space, we're so grateful to have had the opportunity to serve over the past 12 months. And I am just excited about what the future holds for us, you know, because our offerings are of our own making. No one is instigating this. No one is spinning our wheels and being puppeteers to us. And it also, what we're doing is adding value to the lives of St. Lucian people. I want to just congratulate the team and those who started with us from early. And that is why we have Prophet Edison with us also. Because when we initially established the Secretariat, a lot of people would not know this, Prophet Edison was offering time, was consulting with us, doing some physical secretarial work, engaging young St. Lucian minds like himself. How young is my son?
I'm 22 currently.
22.
22.
You see, that is what St. Lucia offers. The opportunity for us to engage young minds and have them reciprocate from their own framing the reality of what needs to be addressed in St. Lucia. This is what our Justice and Healing Initiative has been about. And our Honorable Goddess, we're going to engage a slideshow. Can we start a slideshow? So we at least make the people have a recap of some of the things that we have had as part of our own framing for 2021 into 2022. Again, I want to share with my producer that we are having a little bit of technical difficulty. The slideshow it seems to be frozen on a slide. It seems to love the Honorable Empress of Ethiopia, though, you know, and Jaja, and the Right Honorable Priest Kailash. But while we work through that technical difficulty, and even though we're coming up on our first official break, let us talk a little bit more. Because, listen, so what has been your highlight, Prophet Edison?
Well, for me, I found that the culmination of the young minds at Rising of the Gods is like just peak. Because to have Honorable Rizla Islam, I mean, that's like a living personification of manners, character. He just had his, at least for the present day, what is being sold to like young St. Lucians and young people all over the world, I would look at him as a prime example. And his eloquence and coming in with a revolutionary speech, kind of like Malcolm X, like how young people appreciate that revolutionary aspect. So meeting with people like him and like other young people my age from other parts of the world, exploring the same levels of socialization, but in their own way in finance and other spaces, that was to me like that the culmination of it all, having to be cultured by everybody in the space. That was my favorite piece. But the way that we've expounded it from the launch of Marcus Garvey, when we celebrated Marcus Garvey up the mountain, these were really interactive spaces. And I find that the people who came out of these spaces had genuinely good things to say and were genuinely supportive of the whole ethos. I find that the mere fact that we had zero friction and just so much buy-in means that whatever it is we offer and the young people accept it. I'm happy for that.
Blessed love. And, you know, in fact, you spoke about the mountain and how that whole energy facilitated your learning experience for yourself. And that's another hat that is worn by the Right Honorable Empress of Ethiopia, because she is also co-chair, co-CEO of the Mount Kailash Rejuvenation Center. So tell us, Honorable Empress, a little bit about the space. I mean, Lucians, St. Lucians and others are now knowing more about Mount Kailash, but you also had an interesting precursor to the launch of the Jaja and I initiative, which was the Rising of the Gods retreat. And that was where, just for the record, St. Lucians, I came in just before that in May of 2021 into St. Lucia for my own healing. So you have my business out there now, go on with it. But I was asked by the Honorable Empress to stay over beyond the time that was allotted for my treatment, for my care, for my rejuvenation, to speak with the group of brothers who were coming in for what again?
The Rising of the Gods.
Aha.
Yes.
It's repeat that again on
The Rising of the Gods.
the Rising of the Gods. Tell us how that came about, and just give us that kind of timeline of from the Rising of the Gods to the launch of the Justice and Healing Initiative, please.
There are certain parts you will be best
It's
positioned to fill in. But the rising of the gods, well, of course, my years of experience of being by the side of Right Honorable Priest Gelash, I've often told him that a lot of the knowledge and the wise mind he has, the youths need it out there, especially the young men, you know, because many times, you know, with how society is, we focus a lot on the woman, and it's good, you know, the woman needs to focus as well. But sometimes we tend to not remember that the young man needs certain things. He needs a role model, he needs a big brother, or even just a brother, you know, that he can reason with, and a brother that can inspire him to think greater, think higher, you know, to think beyond what's normally being spoken about. And so the rising of the gods, it was really an acknowledging of that fact. And then, you know, even with the honorable priests, the persons that he would normally come into contact with, you know, reaching out to them and showing them, well, this is an opportunity to be able to raise a son, you know, that he doesn't have anything to do with the blood that's flowing in your vein, but just by the main fact that you are man, you are God, you know. And so the whole focus of the rising of the gods was to highlight certain main phenomenon that the man has to deal with and reason about it. And even those, you know, sharing their expertise, their knowledge, even wise ones like yourself, Honorable Rasuin.
Thanks.
Yes, the Silvers. And, you know, just being able to impart that and just having that kind of brotherhood vibe whereby it's all right, and touch on those really kind of topics that, you know, you man don't really like to open your mouth and talk about these kind of things, but that's what it was really about. So when there were persons like Brother Riza Islam, who is very charismatic and fierce and just well posed in all of it, poised in all of it throughout all, you know, exhibiting such a high level of discipline in terms of his own appearance and how he carries himself.
Yeah.
Ones like him, Chronics, Prophet Jama, you know, who his lyrics are just in terms of music. Everybody loves his music, but then the lyrics are on a whole other level. He doesn't get dirty, but he speaks to your divinity, and then he speaks to your heart and your soul and, you know, your everyday experiences. So these persons, and then of course yourself, Honorable Rasuin, you know, that level of wise mind, and then that firm father hand that you have on things, and Bongonia, you know, these people that have so much knowledge and wise mind just overflowing, and persons that society don't necessarily esteem or celebrate like that, because, you know, maybe there are certain things about them that society might not really like, but, you know, the fact is that they are God's manifestation of God within themselves, you know. So the rising of the gods create that atmosphere. It gives the opportunity for young men, middle-aged men, older men, everyone to just sit together, feast on good food, go on some kind of excursions, and reason, you know, just reason in that kind of atmosphere whereby everyone can just speak.
Yes, of course.
You know, so that's what it was about. And then from there, the whole purpose was to really bring out the God nature out of the young man, to help him to see how it is that he can manifest his God self. And, you know, of course, out of there came forward.
Honorable. So it
thanks.
came forward, as the Honorable Goddess just said, a decision was made, and I have all the dates. And by the way, I'm a historian, so I keep dates. June 24th, as we sat in that beautiful kitchen, handmade kitchen by the Right Honorable Priest Kailash, a group of us, including Brother Chronics, Brother Riza Islam, myself, Bongonia, Right Honorable, Dottie Bookman, my beloved brother, and we said, what comes next? And, you know, Dottie Bookman said, well, I came here as an author, I'm documenting things. I think we should just proceed with a book. And it is a bookman, of course, the revolutionary mind, the Haitian spirit of the man that started the revolution. And that was a catalyst in part that took us into establishing 13 months of an initiative. And after we spoke the word, The Honorable Priest Kailash took me into Castries. I had not gone into Castries on many occasions before then from the mountain. And he introduced me to my brother, another brother. Many people in St. Lucia know him as Brother Kenty. I say as a recap, be patient. Brother Kenty showed us buildings, couple buildings, and he said, you know, you could have this building to do what you envision doing. Of course, he didn't give us the building per se. He gave us the right to occupy the building in the short term. And the God energy that you just spoke of, Right Honorable Empress Ethiopia, was awakening all of us. And in the moment we said, yes, we'll take this building right here, 37 Jeremy Street. And immediately, Honorable Priest Kailash and Brother Kenty got to work, and Priest Kailash brought in workers, and we transformed a lounge, a dance lounge. We love to dance, some of us. But the lounge had another energy. And it was transformed into what is on my screen and the public cannot see right now, but a beautiful, beautiful space that became and currently remains as the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. And St. Lucia, just for the record, overstand this. There's none other like it in the Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, none other like it in CARICOM, the larger Caribbean, none like it in North America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, and if you have another continent, I think there's another one, but there's South America, there's none like it. So this is what you own, St. Lucia. A cultural center that represents an ethos that comes out of the Caribbean, that has inspired the whole world and given the world a title that means leader to be respected, or head to be revered, or Ras Tafari. Let us take a small break until we can forward again and get some more conversation, fix this technical difficulty, and share with the Lucian family. Producer, give thanks.
It is true. We're here to serve and protect residents and visitors alike. Like you, we want a reduction in crime. But no one agency can do it alone. Together, we can do it, St. Lucia. Let's look out for each other. Reach out to youth at risk, especially those under peer pressure. Start a conversation. Listen, let's hear their solutions. Our St. Lucia has always inspired greatness. Crime undermines that potential. But together, we can secure our people, our communities, our St. Lucia.
My name is Karima Nicholas. The name of my business is Let It Lather. We produce 100% natural bath soap. All of our soaps are made from natural ingredients, plants, spices, and fruits that we can find right here in St. Lucia. They are homegrown. All of our soaps do not contain artificial products, ingredients, and colors, so they are safe for all skin types. Benefits of using my soaps are that you are able to maintain your skin health with natural products. It helps protect the skin. We are in a sunny country, of course. We can protect our skin with what we have around us. They are very popular. We find them in many products, and we can also be able to benefit from our own local products here. Okay, so I have 10 varieties. I have coconut milk, aloe vera, turmeric and honey, charcoal, hibiscus, moringa, glory cedar. There's a lot. Okay, so they can get in touch with me on my website at letitlather.com. You can also find us on social media, Instagram and Facebook at Let It Lather, and they can contact us through our number directly, 716-9649.
This is the year to be counting, solutions reminded. We must not participate.
Non, moi c'est ma frère Emmanuel et aujourd'hui moi qui encourager dernier moun dans cette liste participer et supporter population housing census là ou plus en bas qui bien important comme nous sont en nous toutes participer. Laissez enumerators là, c'est moun qui ka vini avec ti papier yo pour yo sa prend information, ka vini avec mando question ou pe quoi, yo pas supposé mando. Moi ka fò ça bien important. Question yo ka mando là, c'est pas pour connaître ça faire, mais yo ka mando ces questions ça pour aider pays simplicité développer en dans bonne façon, pas juste simplicité tout seul, mais communal koto ka wete ya. An nous mettre tête ensemble. En nous mettre cervelle nous ensemble et en nous répondre toutes les questions et bien quand il bon smile les filles nous en nous faire ça nous paye by powers là by community et by country by simplicity
nous quand t'es ici quand t'es ici
Yes, St. Lucia, give thanks. You can see my joy overpouring on the screen, can you? I tell you, I'm so happy to be home and here at Calabash TV on the Justice and Healing Initiative with my honorable guest, the chair, the throne empress of the Ubuntu movement, St. Lucia, Right Honorable Empress Ethiopia Archer, and my honorable son, young prince and prophet,
Thanks.
Prophet Edison. Give thanks for joining us. Again, we're doing a recap of the past 12 months of activities that we have full joy, that we have offered, that we are still, full joy and reaping the benefits of. And by the way, we're going to propose some things to you. Before we close the show, we're going to propose a vision. Because we're visionaries, that's who we are. And we're going to show you how a vision comes to reality in 2023. Bear in mind. But before we do all them proposals, the beloved producer told me that the challenge has been fixed with our technical difficulties. So we're going to do a little recap of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. There you have it. In service to the St. Lucian family and by extension, to all who share with us in the moments that they're able to share with us. In the culture of goodness and the leadership that comes through the vision and the reality of Rastafari. That's a contemporary cultural renaissance in the minds and the reality of all people, because Rastafari transcends race, color, continent, creed, and religious philosophies. It is being God in man, in flesh. Give thanks. Honorable Empress, you have anything to say about just the image? Look at how beautiful that is. What is that image representing anyway? Any commentary?
It represents natural beauty. It represents the beauty and magnificence and the potential of Rastafari, you know?
It is so true, but I want people to also understand and give a cup of credit where credit is due. That image on the wall with His and Her Majesty, it was a representation of the coronation photograph. Mm-hmm. And it was donated to I by a sister in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. She called me Uncle Ras Wayne. Beautiful young sister and her beautiful family. And I just want to give a shout out to my beautiful niece and for donating that. But also what we're looking at, other people may not know that what we'd call furniture was literally created by the Honorable Priest Kailash. Mm-hmm. He charted it to be done, and it was done, and it was decorated by the Honorable Empress Ethiopia and my own Princess Clarissa. Mm-hmm.
And Honorable Empress Crystal.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, I was about to add it. So, Honorable Empress Crystal, I was going to add your name. But yeah, man, so listen, credit must be due, you know. And when we're doing a recap, we do that because when we say justice and healing, we want to be fair to all who have been involved. By the way, you know, there were people employed to do some of the work, and we honor the good work that they have done in making those materials and the desk and chairs. Well, you know, some of it was not made in the moment. And so we have in the beginning the Right Honorable Priest Kailash and Ras Wayne. This is December 19th, 2021. As my brother, and you see, he's the showcase of the moment. You know, the building is to your upper right corner, and the Honorable Priest Kailash is into the, well, he's not a left man, but he's a right man, and with that 7 symbol. Of course, Ras Wayne inadvertently is there because I am, you know. So that was the event about this time a year ago that image was shot. Actually, I think it's a very moment, 8:39, you know. And then, of course, I had to do this one. And Honorable Priest Kailash, you know, I'm a big brother, so I was there standing with my niece and nephew, Princess Newt and Jaja the Man, along with the Honorable Empress of Ethiopia. And why this image is important is that the balance it represents. I am the General Secretary of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. Empress of Ethiopia is the throne woman, the chair of the non-profit organization that has been giving service in St. Lucia for many years, for multiple years, and certainly she was the driving force within the creating an umbrella. Empress, I want to thank you again. That's an umbrella you created that we could place the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center in, and it stands supreme even to this moment. At that event also, we showcased what we brought in as books to serve the purpose of edifying the St. Lucian family and all those who were willing to come into the space and be edified and to learn, to share, and to purchase books. Plain and simple. It's not cheap, you know. You know? And so while we give, in fact, one of the beautiful things we did at the Cultural Center is that we created a special collections unit. Family, the unit still exists, and it serves, you can come into the unit, you could read, you could research, it is there. So that is a free component. And then we have the bookshop that we want you to buy books, so you can have it in your library, pass it forward to your children. In the one of the images, the image you're looking at right now, I don't know if it's prudent to call people's name, but I want to give a shout out to the Ministry of Tourism. The Minister of Tourism is Dr. Hilaire, and of course, the Right Honorable Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Miss Donnelyn Vite. A beautiful name. So give thanks, Vite, who I think that's an image of her. She was there. She made herself available, and we want to thank her for all the representation she has made and the support her ministry has given, her office has given to the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, even just in engaging us. Because it's through the collaboration of the Right Honorable Priest Kailash and the Ministry of Tourism and her office in particular, where we started the poetry competition, which has produced, and let me tell you something, you know, people, because we have this thing. A lot of people have seen the beautiful sister who is the poetess of this initiative, the Emancipation Initiative. What's her name again, beloved Honorable Empress?
Sister Kishma.
I know her name, you know, but I want you say it with such beauty, with that slight lisp. Sister Kishma. Well, this sister was the winner of our May competition, and I remember when the Cultural Development Foundation was engaged in the services and the collaboration of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, we were asked, do we have a poet? Would you recommend someone? And I want to give credit where credit is due. My beloved brother, Glenn Challery, he said, well, you know, I'm a poet too, and I have work, and, you know, you could review the work, and if you want, I could recommend someone else. And we reviewed his work, very good work. But then Sister Kishma, you know, that energy that she represented, she was chosen as the representation of the woman energy, Petronille, yes, who stand and fight and fought and still have that energy today across St. Lucia. I talking much, you say?
No,
I don't mind talking.
I'm
You know.
just saying, I think they made a movie about it this year, just to see the same energy, the same woman
Yes,
king,
man. Well,
just to
if
see-
you want to really see the energy,
Yeah.
if you really want to see the energy, St. Lucians, you need to see the beloved, now very well published Sister Kishma.
Give thanks.
As when she speaks, it's a pouring
Power.
forward of energy, pure St. Lucian energy. The revolution that started before the Asian Revolution, she represents it, she embodies it. And we salute and celebrate her, but we were part of that narrative too. The Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center was part of that narrative, and we're taking ownership for our own work. But we celebrate those who have full taken in it. Now, our very first month after our opening, what we did a celebration. Empress Ethiopia, do you remember that celebration?
Yes, I remember it.
So-
I was not able to be there in person.
I recall,
I
but
remember.
I think St. Lucians need to understand why we try to make it the distinction between Christmas as a commercial holiday and the Ethiopian Gena or Christmas and what that represents in the African cosmogony and also the Rastafari reality. And I don't believe anyone could represent that better than the Honorable Empress Ethiopia. Give us a sound on that, goddess.
Well, with the Ethiopian Christmas, more for us as Rastafari, celebrating the existence or the manifestation of the Christman, it's really something that goes really deep when it comes to our culture, when it comes to our own acknowledgement of self, of our purpose, of the legacy that we have as a people, and even as our duty to mankind. You know, now the Christmas is, well, you know already, it's a commercialized event. It's very on the surface, quite superficial and so on. And so, of course, with Rastafari, and it's something that we've always done as a people, is we push forward the manifestation of something greater, something with purpose, something that is really beneficial to us as a people. So that's what the Christmas, and that's why we call it Christmas. You know, celebrating the manifestation of the Christ man, the Savior man, who actually, you know, is a man of justice and healing.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So
What a beautiful tying in to the very narrative that we are bringing forward again. Continue, goddess.
yes, so we celebrated on January 7th, you know, and
And why is it celebrated on January 7th?
in accordance with the Ethiopian celebration.
And of course, we are Ethiopians. That's our heritage, yes?
Yes, and you know, there's the whole difference in terms of the calendar. So even recognizing that, it helps to bring us more in tune with ourselves,
Yeah.
and it's something that would really resonate with our very essence, our DNA, something that, you know, it's in harmony with us.
Yeah.
So it will even have more of a benefit for us instead of, you know, trying to fit ourselves into something that's not really designed for us.
Truly.
And that's where the justice and healing come about, Raswin.
Give thanks, goddess. As I said, honorable family, you all heard it from the Honorable Empress Ethiopia. I couldn't have said it better. And I'm going to pull you in, Brother Edison, because as a young 22-year Lucian, you know, this season represents multiple things for you. In part, of course, it's commerce, but hearing about the Ethiopian Gena is the name. It's a game and also the titling of the Christmas era or epoch. How do I see that? And, you know, what's happening in your neck of the
Well, to be
woods, so to speak?
To be really honest, I actually looked a lot into history in Form 5, like before I left SMC, and I did enough to know that the Roman Christianity Conference of Nicaea, 325 AD, that's coming out of a pseudo, or let's just say out of an Ethiopian concept of Christianity, where most of the information was already held, like it was already there, but you'd have an empire taking a lot of it in, And basically, at the whole reason why that conference or that council, Conference of Nicaea, is even important is because that's where they choose in their books to put into the Bible. That's where the narratives are being framed. That's a lot of what I'm hearing in that space. And there's Ethiopian priests, and then there's Roman priests. They arguing, they're discussing, and it's whatever sense they're in. But at the end, we get this product, this package, Christianity. Now, I'm always interested in the Ethiopian Coptics, in the Ethiopians, and just the Ethiopian priesthood as is. So to hear now what is being considered a Christmas, knowing the origin probably transcends the Roman interpretation, I'm happy. I'm happy to hear it, and I'm open actually to the reality of it as a season, as a cosmic celebration. Because if it is a really blessed day, if it is a really holy day, then naturally the forces, nature, is going to reach out and extend in that same manner what it is we concluding or we assuming or we speaking on. So I'm just grateful to be part of it.
Well, give thanks, and that's why you're on this program this evening. You're so eloquent, young man, my son. I'm proud of you. But you touched on important component of all of this by saying the discussion continues, because some of the narratives that we want to disown belongs to us. They have been packaged and repackaged to us, but we have to reclaim it through knowledge. And one of the things we're promising, St. Lucia, is that we're going to ensure that we do even a virtual program on the 7th of January so that we can share some of this information through the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. Not doctrine, we're not trying to convince anybody of anything. Did I tell you I'm a historian? We're presenting history. So, you take it or leave it, it is lived reality, you can't change it. So we're going to give it to you so that you cannot say, I did not know. Yes? So give thanks for that. And of course, we on the other slide, we're really on the other slide, which speaks to our poetry competition, if we can re-engage that, Mr. Producer. I think he's suggesting we should have taken a break, but we're not taking no break. This is too exciting right now. By the way, if you want to call in, it's 1730. 453-1730. We haven't taken a lot of calls, and it was very deliberate, you know. Also, a lot of people don't know me, so they don't call me. But our deliberate plan is to share information. You can sip it up. And you say for 2023, we no better call. All right? But our Poetry Slam, as I said earlier, was initiated by a collaboration with the Honorable Priest Keles, the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, and the Ministry of Tourism that's stepped in and said, you know, we'll support initiatives that help to promote St. Lucia, and we say we're the place for it. They agreed and we move forward. And that poetry competition, which is now on our slide, if you want to show it, just images. We have our Empress, Honorable Empress. The image represents judges and participants in the poetry competition, and if you cannot see it, I'll tell you, it was a beautiful, beautiful series. Every month we would have a series of competitions that we have a runoff and them kind of thing, and then we have a monthly winner. And Empress Ethiopia, I recall that even the Honorable Empress spoke and wrote poetry. She was inspired, you know. Of course, what a lot of people don't know, Prophet Edison, is that the very first competition that we had, we only had 2 people. For the first hours of the competition, only 2 people, and then the participant, 2 participants and 2 audience members. And then you came forward. So you have been there from those points, and I want to again celebrate the fact that you're here with us and going to hold you accountable publicly. You know. You're going to stay the course with us.
Yeah.
Because 2023 is a serious series of work. Yes? And so we want you to engage your colleagues, your peer group, and those other people who have shown you love and respect and who is part of your network. Because the work we're doing in St. Lucia is going to help to reframe some of the narrative about ourselves, our people, and indeed our current reality. Honorable Empress Ethiopia, any sound on the poetry competition?
The poetry competition, it For me, I loved it. I love the fact that our people, they were given a gateway to express themselves. Because even now, especially in the Caribbean, I find a lot of youths, they don't really have that opportunity to really express themselves. Many times they're just told, okay, this is what you're supposed to do, that's where you're supposed to go, that's what you're supposed to say. And that's it.
Yeah.
So like their unique perspective, you know, their thoughts, their own creativity is not allowed to manifest and to be nurtured and for it to grow and become something extraordinary, which it has the potential to be. So when we do that, or we don't allow the youths to have that that gateway, then they're stifled, they become frustrated. Sometimes their energy go into different places,
Yes.
even leading into crime and violent behaviors and so on. So
Yes.
so even with the poetry slam, that's what I love about the poetry slam. Just for the sessions where I attended, to hear these persons speak about themselves, their views, or even just how they interpret some other phenomenon. You know, it's a beautiful thing to observe, and you know, just to witness that manifestation of something extraordinary, something different. Because when you allow the youths to do that, you know, you see the variety or the various perspectives that sometimes we don't even look at it. So the poetry slam, it allowed that, and it's something that, you know, it needs to definitely continue. And I know even in other parts of the world, people have started.
Yes.
Even right here in St. Lucia, there are different groups, different that just out of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center providing that stage for that level of expression. They have been inspired, even for the time being where we're on a pause. You know, these little trees are growing up in different places.
Of
So
course.
we give
Of
thanks for
course.
that. Yes.
Yeah, man, we really give thanks. And in fact, you know, you mentioned, Honorable Empress Goddess Ethiopia, that we were on a pause. And I just want to recall for our audience why we went on a pause. In part, when we talk about justice and healing, we also talk about judgment. And we say, you know, when you're talking or when you see judgment, it takes multiple forms, you know, and judgment is an ongoing process. So in order for ones to gain a benefit, you have to analyze and, you know, examine their work. And then you judge the work and then you give a reward. The Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center have received many rewards. We stand predominant in the rewards arena because the energy of our people, we are rewarded by our own goodness. I myself have gotten my own healing through just the work that we're doing. But while you're working for the good, evil has always presented itself. For those people who talk about the narrative of the Garden of Eden, the beautiful place was invaded by an evil energy. And so too was the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. On September 23rd of this year, some person or persons made a conscious decision to violate the space, to undermine the security of the space, and to intimidate the spirit of those people who have to come into work daily there, because when someone violates your security, you don't feel good. And so we had to take a moment, because we're spiritual beings, you know. We had to take a moment to analyze that Honorable Empress Ethiopia, Prophet Edison, and to think about what that represents. And in fact, we interrogated different spaces, our conscience, our energy, to see whether or not we want to stay in that space. We stay in St. Lucia, we stay in the course of the work. But the question became, do we stay in this particular space for this level of work? And by full accounting and unanimous decision from both our Honorable Chair, Throne, Empress, our Honorable Priest Kailash, Honorable Ras Wayne Rose, the consensus is that we're going to step it up even further right at 37 Jeremy Street. But we're going to broaden the collaboration now because we're multifaceted, we have multiple spaces to do the work, and we're going to continue the work. in your face, by the way, you irreverent demon. Fire! That means hot. So remember that. That's why the pause took place, Honorable Goddess.
Give thanks.
Notwithstanding, though, I has forwarded, the energy's up. It was good today. I was in the office and I felt good. And the plannings have already started for 2023, both with the poetry. In fact, we're not going to do it that same way anymore. Because as you already said, Honorable Goddess, we were able to inspire other work and other energies in people. And that is part of why we came in. Mm-hmm. We don't want to own everything. I remember speaking to the Honorable Priest Killers one day about some people buying some food somewhere else. They were part of our guests. And you know what the man said to me? He said, but other people have to eat, Ras Wayne. Let them buy. Mm-hmm. So let other people be inspired by this good work and then can glorify themselves and the goodness that is represented in the collective. That is why we're feeling so excited about 2023. Sure. Yes? So we did media work. This is what the slide represents. We did 28 days of Nyabinghi. Huh?
Restart the slideshow.
Oh, that has been up for a bit. But we did a lot of powerful things. And, you know, I go and just tell Brother Randall and the Calabash family are taking 20 more minutes, you know. So let us take a small break and come forward. Blessed love.
Blessed love.
Rastafari.
It is true. We're here to serve and protect residents and visitors alike. Like you, we want a reduction in crime. But no one agency can do it alone. Together, we can do it, St. Lucia. Let's look out for each other. Reach out to youth at risk, especially those under peer pressure. Start a conversation. Listen. Let's hear their solutions. Our St. Lucia has always inspired greatness. Crime undermines that potential. But together, we can secure our people, our communities, our St. Lucia.
My name is Karima Nicholas. The name of my business is Let It Lather. We produce 100% natural bath soap. All of our soaps are made from natural ingredients, plants, spices, and fruits that we can find right here in St. Lucia. They are homegrown. All of our soaps do not contain artificial products, ingredients, and colors, so they are safe for all skin types. Benefits of using my soaps are that you are able to maintain your skin health with natural products. It helps protect the skin. We are in a sunny country, of course. We can protect our skin with what we have around us. They are very popular. We find them in many products, and we can also be able to benefit from our own local products here. Okay, so I have 10 varieties. I have coconut milk, aloe vera, turmeric and honey, charcoal, hibiscus, moringa, glory cedar. There's a lot. Okay, so they can get in touch with me on my website at letitlather.com. You can also find us on social media, Instagram and Facebook at Let It Lather, and they can contact us through our number directly, 716-9649.
A newly renovated home is a special feeling, and lighting can be a big part of that. Like the LED seasonal lights many now use for energy saving and safety over the holidays. It's worth the effort to install LED lights everywhere, and you don't have to be an expert to change a bulb. Remember to turn off all lights when not in use. This includes LED lights. Smart move, buddy. Saving energy is what's smart.
Blessed love, give thanks and welcome again to the Justice and Healing, the recap of 12 months of activities at the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center and the Justice and Healing Initiative that is the functionary through that beautiful center. I am Ras Dr. Wayne Rose, General Secretary of the center, and I'm proud of my office, you know. So if I say it a million times, I don't business owner want to say. It's my office. And in studio with I this evening is the Right Honorable Throne Woman of the Ubuntu Rastafari movement, or the Ubuntu movement. Have to make the distinction. It's a non-profit organization here in St. Lucia. And again, we have our honorable son, Prince and Prophet Edison, young Lucian, who just doing a tremendous bit of work with his network, within his network, and for himself. He's doing good, son. We give thanks for your works. You know, so we are again challenged with a little bit of technical issues, but as I tell you, this is about, you know, forces and energy, and even the technologies and energy in of itself. So, Empress Ethiopia, I, in addition to just doing the poetry slam, we did a Garvey exoneration campaign, yes, where St. Lucia was the first country, not North America, the first country in 2021 that started a campaign, an essay campaign, that we engaged the Ministry of Education, asking them to have young people write essays on why the Honorable Marcus Garvey should be exonerated. And I'll tell you why I knew it's the first country. The chair of the Caribbean Political Action Committee in Washington, D.C., Dr. Gulda Downer, told me herself, and she was leading the initiative for our beloved Dr. Julius Garvey, the son of the Right Honorable Marcus Garvey. And she said, Raswin, when I sent her the proposal and what we're doing and the images, she said, but this is the first one. I said, yes, St. Lucia win again. For I win them again, because we weren't in a competition per se, but we take it serious enough. Because when I came into St. Lucia, I didn't know that St. Lucia actually hosted Honorable Marcus Garvey. He stayed here, he lived here, he did works here. Right? So that is beautiful. That is the level of engagement that St. Lucia has long had with the revolutionary spirit of liberation and emancipation. Yes, and we're going to do some work again with those people who are serious about emancipation for 2023. Watch and see. So we did that. We also did our book or readers club, where we engaged, we invited, and I want to celebrate our beloved Princess Clarissa. You know, it's a young sister, St. Lucian again, and while she is management in training, she did an excellent job at the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, and she has now graduated to other things that is of benefit, mutual benefit to herself and the management team here. So we celebrate you, Princess. You did well, and we are in support of your next and your new prospects for development. Empress Ethiopia, so you said earlier that you love the Readers Club and the poetry competition. Those were things that we are going to resurrect in multiple ways, and I look forward to your leadership in those spaces.
Of course. And as you touched too on Princess Clarissa, and even with Prophet Edison, what I celebrate, Raswin, is the fact that, and it's something that we've been doing at Mount Kailash Rejuvenation Center, whatever entity that we're functioning within, you know, that we put energy into those who might not have had the opportunity to get the kind of nourishment, emotionally, mentally, intellectually, that the society would have given, you know, to help them to see the greatness within themselves, to exhibit their skills, their talent, you know, show them a path, give them that kind of guidance to really manifest that. And with Princess Clarissa, you know, she is full of potential. And Raswin, I loved it, you know, just to see how you nourish her. And you've been patient with her. And she too has been, you know, she has taken the opportunity to even reflect on herself and, you know, move forward. So it's things like that, you know, our people need the opportunity. And this is what the Rising of the Gods has been about. The Sacred Goddess Retreat, that's what we're about. Mount Kailash Rejuvenation Center, that's what we're about. The Ubuntu Movement, the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. Food of Seven, Livity, and now we have the Green Zen, you know.
That's so
Even
cool.
with Edison.
Yeah, give thanks.
I mean, I remember when I first saw him, I won't even tell you, but you know, to see his growth, and then to, you know, even just to have been able to watch him, and how he had that drive, that desire within his own self, and he was receptive to that kind of guidance that the Honorable Priest gave him. You know, and there were people that were saying that that's Priest Killer's son, you know. So it was like that. And as I'll say elders, I think that's one of the greatest things that we can do for our youths. Nowadays, there are too many situations in which the elders are actually competing with the youths.
Yes.
That is not our role. Our role is to pass on that knowledge, help to nourish them, you know, because yes, we give them whatever knowledge we might be able to give them, and then there's their own creativity, their unique personality, so they'll combine that knowledge that we give them with their natural talent and beauty and create a whole new thing, and that's how we grow from generation to generation. So, you know, I honor our team.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
Rightly so.
the Honorable Priest Kilash.
Yes.
Being able to work with you, Raswin, you know,
yes.
and so many others that, you know, they are there. You know, we go through different things. We go through our moods. We go through challenges and all these things, but our people stick with it. Our team stick to it.
We did.
You know, and they add their value. They're patient. They over the whole cycle and everything, and we're able to plant seed leaves and water them, and they grow, and you know, we're building an empire.
We are.
We're changing the course of things. This crime situation, soon from now, it will be no more. You know, because yeah, man, we're going to intentionally give our youths what they need. Give our people the opportunity to manifest their greatness. You know, and I find this year, as we're doing that year in review, you know, we're taking our steps. We're going to get there, and we're going to keep at it, and, you know, we'll achieve what our goals are.
You know, I think, and I give thanks for those word sounds, Honorable Goddess, because they mean a lot. They mean more than you can imagine, really. Because oftentimes the Honorable Priest Killer should say, boy, when the Empress speaks, you know, and I share in that with my own Empress, is where the sound as is spoken, as the woman represents that life giver, that incubator, that life comes through. The very word that you speak, your incubation, your system of delivery has just put out life itself. And the life you have put forward is positive for our St. Lucian family, for our humanity, and certainly let us continue to speak those positive energies into being.
Give thanks.
And as I heard you also representing just blessings and thank yous, thanksgiving for some, let me also add to the equation Empress Crystal, you mentioned her earlier, but for a poetry competition where the woman just, I mean, I know she's what they call creative, but she is a dynamic creative. You can't just use the word creative without some serious adjective. She is extraordinarily talented.
She's a goddess.
She is a goddess, and she, you know, she certainly has taken custody of the Liberty space and the team mandate and been operating that and doing extraordinarily well. And so we celebrate her in the context of the Ubuntu Center and the work that she has represented, filling in gaps and stepping up, and sometimes even when it was inconvenient, representing so that we did not have a failure in what we proposed to do. We want to celebrate you, sis. Also, my honorable brother, the Right Honorable Kes Wesmore, a priest of great notoriety. He's there at the center. When I say notoriety, what it means is a noble man. He's there at the center preparing foods for the goodie so that ones can be nourished. And not just food, the man give advice.
Yeah, true.
And on occasion, because Ross Wayne have a sweet tooth and sweet tooth don't work too well for me, he will say, Ross Wayne, watch it to know. You know, and I will adhere to the call for just restraint. And so, along with the team of ones who have served the mission, some are no longer with us, but I want to salute them also. And Prophet Jermaine, who is now standing there beside the Honorable Priest, we celebrate your brother. I have often gotten my lunch through the grace of the center. It's part of the overall Ubuntu Center. I used to take liberty sometime. But we give thanks for that dynamic energy and what it represents. It's a recap and a thank you to those people. Even the very Princess Tarido, who came out of Zimbabwe via Australia, and she came in with an energy in our cultural space. At our poetry competitions, we celebrate the sister. We celebrate all who have given to the St. Lucian family, to the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, and certainly to the larger humanity. Blessed love and give thanks. We're going to close then with our summer program and then do a little proposal. So a lot of people, I said it to people, and I said, you know what, we're going to bring in some students from John Hopkins to St. Lucia. And as I said it, I remember one brother just scoffing, like, yeah, right, you? Because we don't wear certain things on our sleeves. And at the time, I think I was in a shorts and a t-shirt. And so I'm not going to say I'm a doctor of history and I teach at this institution or that institution, but I mean, you know, becoming among accomplished people, so you observe and you see, and then you declare yourself, I am a doctor. And I have taught at John Hopkins University. I currently teach at Jackson State University, Mississippi, which is a needing place for what talents I represent. Yeah? But nonetheless, we decided that we're going to invite our family through our own network to bring students into St. Lucia. And we had the privilege of hosting those students at the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, at Mount Kalish Rejuvenation Center. And certainly we unpacked the culture of Rastafari from the St. Lucian experience. We invited our Nyabingi family, our Bobo Shanti family, from Bahamas, from Trinidad and Tobago, from Jamaica, from Guadeloupe, from multiple spaces, from North America included. And they came in, and we did 28 days of immersive programmatic. And people's testimony, they talk about how their lives have changed. Prophet Edison, you missed it. I still going to rebuke you on it. But nonetheless, that is what we did. And we had students from John Hopkins. And let me tell you a little secret. Well, after today, it won't be such a secret. Sure. But we're going after Howard University. They've already shown extraordinary interest. And the University of the West Indies will be involved. We're going to do multiple spaces. But St. Lucia is in the mix. We own it, and we're going to run with it. And by the way, when we brought the students to meet with the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Philip Pierre, J. Pierre, and he said education is one of his priorities. No, he's a politician, and politicians are known to speak, positively, and sometimes they are challenged in other ways, and whatever happens within the political dynamic, Rastafari generally stay out of it. But when I, as a historian and an educator, hear someone commits to education, knowing that Emperor Haile Selassie I took the Ministry of Education of Ethiopia for 25 years because he found education to be so critical to the Ethiopian people. And when I hear a prime minister say that it's part of his mission, I salute it. And I have said, and I will continue to say, we're here to assist in whatever ways we can, and we will be reaching forward to the Minister of Education to engage with him, with the Cultural Foundation. Yes, that's the Cultural Development Foundation. Will be reaching forward again in 2023 to see how we can collaborate together to add value to the St. Lucian space. And one of the things we're working on, Honorable Empress Ethiopia, is to see how we bring even our maritime initiative, which was part of our 28 days of events, how we intertwine that with the Maritime University, that is the Caribbean Maritime University, to see how we intertwine that along with our maritime initiative, which is well on its way. We're not going to declare it yet. We're going to have a special space for that, where we're going to bust it open so St. Lucia know that we're serious people. St. Lucia. We love you, you know. Boy, I tell you, we love you. Yes? And we're prepared to show the love for ourselves and of ourselves by adding value to our own lives and by extension to your own experiences. So, let us wrap this up a little bit because we have, if I continue, Brother Randall is going to come downstairs. So, let me start first with you, Prophet Edison. In just reflecting and proposing the next and the new. 2023 is around the corner. What is your commitment to justice, to healing, and to initiatives that can allow for that to take place in the next 12 months?
Give thanks, Honorable. Well, I mean, at this point, on my personal time, I do try my best to give it to youth work in the true essence of it, that young people like myself are still growing up right now in the same spaces I was in when I was 12, when I was 10. And these places, not everybody comes out of these places positively. So I would much rather spend my time involved in giving back to young people, young men like myself, through whichever diplomatic spaces allow for it, through communication, through on-the-ground projects, through ongoing projects, and in any capacity that I can, through my network even, to even find substitutes for myself at times, just to make the system run smoothly. So I know it's a network of intellectuals, some of which would probably be listening to the program right now and watching, but a lot of the intellectuals here are very willing to collaborate and cooperate for the betterment of the young people. We see it, we see a need for it because crime, violence, all the good and all the bad doesn't discriminate. So we all have to be invested in the good of society, in promoting social good. So just along with my network and all the interested persons and myself, just to give a helping hand in whatever capacity. For me, my forte, I'm a vegan chef, CEO. I do operations for myself. Very good at, regardless of the situation, I'm very good at running operations and event management. And regardless of whether I pull in communication into that, it doesn't matter. But I know for sure when we assign a mission, regardless the necessity, we can take care. We can do good. Yeah.
Yes, give thanks. I think give thanks, Prophet Edison. I think we have a caller. You know, we have a caller online. Caller, greetings, blessed love. Greetings, caller.
Hello, good night.
To block your sound, you know. I am not hearing. You know, I can actually.
Good night.
Yes, blessed love, my brother.
My name is. Yeah, yes. My name is Sir Calix George.
Sir Calix George is on the line. Please go forward, yes. My brother.
I wanted to. I noticed you had something about a library.
Yes.
I noticed you had something about a library.
Yes, go ahead, my brother. He's asking about the library at the Ubuntu Center.
I wanted to know what type of books you have in the library. There are a lot of books.
Yes.
I'm interested in African history.
Oh, my brother, I have the books for you. The books in African history. We have a tremendous catalog of those books, starting with even one that I edited myself. Let us start first with the Herbal Manual, which speaks of the African herbs that have been brought into the Caribbean that are for the healing of our people. And it is right here in the library and at the bookstore, but more so on the subject of African history. We have all the known authors that you would be interested in, my brother. Starting with the Right Honorable Marcus Garvey. We certainly have books on books from Brother Hemotep. We have books relating to Ethiopia, West Africa, South Africa, African American history, Caribbean authors, including our Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad, Eric Williams. We have all the books.
Have you got? Have you got?
I'm listening, my brother. Go ahead.
Have you got? Hello.
Yes, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Have you got a history of the Pan-African movement that started in England with people like.
I'm hearing you, my brother. Maybe you're listening to the foreground, but
Yes.
we
I'm
do
CLR
have.
James.
I have CLR. I have two of CLR James's published works, and I also have
Have
books.
you got the guy who went to Ghana?
You're talking about W.E.B. Du Bois?
The Trinidadian guy. No, the Trinidadian fellow.
Okay, who went to Ghana?
Yes, he was with Nkrumah and so on. He was part of the Pan-African movement.
Yeah, man, I have books that speaks to the history of the Pan-African movement. The specific names perhaps are missing right now in your delivery, but the short answer to your question...
I will come and have a look then.
I look forward to you coming, my brother. And we're looking forward to sharing with you. There's a library there, and then there's the area where you can purchase books if you so choose. All right. So thank you so much for the call.
No problem. I'll come and check you out.
I'm looking forward, my brother, and thank you so very much. It is an honor and a privilege of ours to serve. All right. Give thanks. Yeah, man. Blessed love. And just for the record, family, as our beloved brother who joined us on the phone a while ago, I'm tremendously grateful for the call because we deliberately refuse to promote the calling component, but it's only appropriate that as we do a recap and we speak of the services we have brought into St. Lucia, my honorable brother, and he sounds like one of those noble St. Lucians. Yes, yes. And I respect the fact that this program attracts that level of nobility. We salute you, my brother, for the work that you have done in the past and the work that your further edification will allow you to do. And perhaps we can do some collaborations. We look forward to that. Honorable Empress Ethiopia, just before I ask you to block a sound, I just want to propose something to the family who are listening. This Thursday, starting about 6:30 into 7 o'clock, what we're proposing is to have a conversation at the Green's End. It will be a conversation that unpacks this 1-year anniversary, but more importantly, much more importantly, we're going to have conversations that speaks to our positioning for 2023, where we're going to add more value. We're going to actually organize what we're calling an arts liberation initiative, where we're going to use the arts, music, poetry, dance, and the cultural expressions of the way we dress. And we're going to have competitions that engages young people, competitions that engages people who look like me, young at heart, but show the beautiful silver manes, competitions that engages our woman, the beautiful energy of our woman, and we're going to have that culminated into a concert representing the peaceful future of St. Lucia. And we're going to have some of our noble, very noble collaborators, including the Right Honorable Prophet Jamar, otherwise known as Chronics, who will not just co-sponsor the event, but he will produce the event, and those people who participate, especially as songwriters, may have the opportunity to perform with him and have an album produced by him. I just blocking the sound out, you know. If you're interested, a Green Zen we say. That's Rodney Bay. Everyone know it, right? I just know about Rodney Bay, so bear with me a little bit. It's Rodney Bay, the Green Zen, recently opened. Powerful energy, extraordinary cuisine, and now collaborating with the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. We're going to do some sit-downs right throughout the year. We're going to do screenings. We're going to, listen man, come if you want to hear more. We're starting at about 6:30. Honorable Goddess, that is my word. It's a promise I keep in St. Lucia. I keep promises. Blessed love. Honorable Goddess.
And blessed love. So give thanks, give thanks. We celebrate 2022. We celebrate every single thing that was done, even the setbacks, because it allowed us to go within ourselves and draw even more power out to come again, with greater strength, greater determination. Looking on 2022, I give thanks for the August 1st Emancipation celebration. I mean, I give thanks for everything, but especially that, because for me, even when it came to the letter that we presented to the Governor General, there was, yes, it showed that as a people, we know what is good for us, and we shared that information. And at the same time, we invite, just sharing the whole concept, sharing that knowledge, sharing that reality. We invite people to, we give them the opportunity to do what they can do to ensure that we create that reality that is in support of us and for our benefit, for our growth, for our accomplishments. And at the same time, we are manifesting that. We're not just going to wait for people to do things. By our works, you can see that our mind is free and it's very potent. And we are doing what it is that we see need to be done to ensure that we're able to achieve and accomplish and be where we know we should be as a people. So I know that summarizes the works of all our entities, especially the Ubuntu movement, whereby the Ubuntu movement itself, it shows that, or it acknowledges and it uses the foundation that we are one people, and we cannot be selfish in this thing. We have to use our skill, our talents for the betterment of all of us. All right, and this is what is represented in everything that we do, in whatever form that it shows itself. So I know 2022 has already, we're already in a certain course, we're on a pace, we're moving according to a certain rhythm. And 2023 would just be a greater manifestation, the fruits of what we have already planted in 2022. So I'm excited, Raswin.
Give thanks.
And I give thanks for every single thing, every moment, because
Truly.
it's taking us to a greater place. It's carrying us closer and closer towards achieving our goals.
Truly.
All right, so give thanks.
Truly. Give thanks, Honorable Goddess Ethiopia. It's improper for me to even say something else after you've said all of that. But because I have the responsibility of closing forward this show, please forgive the fact that I have to add a little bit more value to what you just said. And that is to say to the St. Lucian family how extraordinarily thankful I am for your energies, Empress, the Right Honorable Empress Chanel. I want to thank you for what you represent, past, present, and of course, future. And I want to say a thank you to the Right Honorable Priest Kailash for what he represents today and tomorrow, and for the healing opportunities he created so that I can apply myself to the knowledge and the activities that facilitates healing. I want to thank you, Empress Ethiopia, because I met you before. I met the Honorable Priest a few days before, and your graciousness, your way of speaking, both with respect and power, so that as much as you showed me respect, you were terrifying in a little way, because you have that energy, and I give thanks for it. But more so because you have represented a sister that I love, an energy that I welcome, and a continuum that I need to be part of. And so I thank you for that. I want to thank all who have mentioned before, who I've met on this journey, those who have encouraged the journey. I want to thank the Rastafari family who are local, those who are sympathetic or engaged on the periphery of Rastafari, who recognizes that Rastafari is not about changing anyone's religious mindset, but to represent a divine being that is who I and I are, or people are, and to remind our people that regardless of what framing we've been socializing for the past several hundred years, we have an origin that speaks to our divine self. And that reminder then is in the image represented by those people who stand in the character and the behavior of Kadamawi Haile Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. So I thank you, St. Lucia, and I tell you something, we've only just begun. You know that song? We've only just begun. Sure. And next time, love and all, justice and healing is what we're about. See you. This is the final program for 2022, but as we begin 2023, the energy will be unstoppable. Unstoppable! I love me say, give thanks, Rastafari.
Bless the Lord.